fanatical leader, a megalomaniac who led his country and many others into the abyss.
Some historians believe that Adolf Hitler thought that his mission in life was to rid the world of Jews. That even if he didn't build the Third Reich for 1,000 years, he would be celebrating for eliminating the Jewish population from the world. I don't know how you begin to deal with that kind of madness.
To restore national pride and expand territory, he had his eyes set on Poland, viewing it as a gateway to his empire. But Hitler needed a reason to attack. On August 31st, 1939, the Nazis staged a fake attack on a German radio station near the Polish border. This event gave Hitler the perfect excuse to launch his invasion. At 4:45 a.m. on September 1st, 1939, Hitler's forces struck. Over 1.5 million German troops crossed into Poland, marking the start of World War II. And so, with a single staged event, the world was plunged into the deadliest war in history. At the beginning of World War II, Nazi Germany appeared almost unbeatable. They swiftly conquered Poland in just a few weeks, and soon after, most of Western Europe, except for the United Kingdom, fell under German control. Their early victories made it seem like nothing could stop their advance. In 1941, Germany turned its attention to the Soviet Union, launching Operation Barbarossa. They made rapid progress, coming dangerously close to capturing key cities like Moscow and Stalingrad. But the harsh Russian winter, combined with the enormous Soviet forces, slowed their momentum and eventually turned the tide against them. If the Germans had defeated the Soviet Union, the war on the Eastern Front would have ended, allowing them to focus completely on the Western Front. It would then have been almost impossible for the Allies to defeat the Germans.
Me and the devil, walking side by side.
This gesture showed people that you were unarmed and not a threat. The Nazi salute spread quickly throughout and not a threat. The Nazi salute spread quickly throughout Germany. Hitler. The Nazi or Hitler salute was first appearing in Nazi Germany in the 1930s as a way to give honor to Adolf Hitler as the leader of the party. This greeting is performed by raising the outstretched right arm with the palm facing down and shouting, "Heil Hitler." This greeting gesture, believed to date back to the Roman Empire, is known as the Saluto Romano. In those days, this gesture showed people that you were unarmed and not a threat. The Nazi salute spread quickly throughout Germany, and everyone who wanted to avoid suspicion of getting in the way of the regime would consciously use the Hitler salute.
What did the most notorious Nazi leaders do before World War II? Joachim von Ribbentrop worked in the wine business before his involvement in Nazi politics. With his charm and social skills, he built a successful wine import company, which brought him into contact with influential figures. Adolf Eichmann worked as a traveling salesman for an oil company before becoming a key figure in orchestrating the Holocaust. His mundane early career starkly contrasts with his later infamy. Heinrich Himmler, who later became the architect of the SS and the Holocaust, originally had a more mundane career. He was a chicken farmer and even wrote about poultry farming before his rise in the Nazi Party. Joseph Goebbels, the infamous minister of propaganda, initially aspired to be a novelist and playwright. He wrote several novels and plays, none of which were successful, before turning to politics. Reinhard Heydrich, one of the main architects of the Holocaust, was a highly talented violinist in his youth. His father was a composer and opera singer, and Heydrich initially pursued a career in music.
Joined the ranks of the German Workers' Party, later known as the Nazis. It was a decision that would have a profound impact not only on Germany, but the entire world. The atrocities committed by the Nazis at the height of their power are staples of every lesson on World War II. But just how did a democracy like Germany fall under the sway of a tyrant in the first place? It all goes back to Germany's loss to the Allies in World War I. German leaders were forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles, agreeing to shrink its armed prominence. A gifted public speaker, he captured the people's disillusionment with a series of speeches calling for a stronger, unified Germany. He insisted that one group was to blame for the nation's post-war misfortunes: the Jews. Hitler and his followers attempted a government coup in 1923, but the plan failed. Hitler was jailed for treason 29. The Great Depression hit, destroying ensuing chaos as his opportunity to seize power. He loudly criticized the ruling government and promised to return Germany to greatness. Long-suffering Germans believed they had finally found their savior. In Germany's 1932 elections, the Nazis won a majority of seats in parliament, and Hitler ran for president. Though he lost, his soaring popularity inspired President Paul von Hindenburg to appoint him chancellor, the head of the German government. As chancellor, Hitler wasted no time tightening his grip on every aspect of German life. He tripled the size of the military, violating the Treaty of Versailles. Under Hitler's orders, rival parties were banned, while paramilitary groups cracked down on protests and executed and occupied public spaces.
But we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole industry there.
Now I know what you're thinking. This can't be true, right? No way the FIFA Peace Prize recipient, Mr. No New Wars himself, kicked off the new year with a new war.
America can project our will anywhere, anytime.
Wide-ranging police and political powers. He's able really to begin the process of forging the dictatorship, the totalitarian state.
People who thought about international policies were very concerned about what Adolf Hitler was up to. Because you would see those great rallies in the streets of Berlin with hundreds of thousands of people marching in uniform and goose-stepping their way down the Platz and raising their arms in salute to Adolf Hitler. And then he invaded Poland.
He thought the British and the French would not declare war on him, and it would be a quick campaign to subdue Poland. But on September 3rd, 1939, Britain declared war. France followed suit.
In June 1941, Hitler invaded the Soviet Union, starting the largest land war in history. In December 1941, Hitler also declared war on the United States.
World War II was fought on 6 of the 7 continents. 50 million people perished. The United States, Great Britain, and the Western Allies were aligned with Russia to try to crush Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Hitler felt adamant that it was his duty to mankind to rid the world of all Jews, and he ordered all possible resources and manpower to fulfill this horrendous task in the so-called concentration camps, the death camps.
Ist siegreich beendet. Der Führer dankt dem SS-Obergruppenführer Standarte.